The greatest frustration for a man seeking genuine connection is the inability to read the silence. We have been taught to seek loud, obvious signals, yet the true language of female desire is written in whispers, micro-expressions, and subconscious shifts in energy. This is not about surface-level flirtation. This is about decoding the biological and psychological blueprint of attraction when a woman wants you, not just casually, but badly. The core truth we must establish is this. When a woman secretly wants you, she will first do one critical thing that goes far beyond body language. She will drop her emotional guard. For a woman, desire is fundamentally tied to safety and emotional resonance. Her subconscious mind is not calculating your looks or your wealth. It is performing a rapid, ancient risk assessment. She is asking, is this man safe? Is he grounded? Does he possess the internal composure that signals leadership and protection? Once emotional safety is established, her body begins to follow. Her unconscious actions become a physical invitation that defies social barriers. The most compelling sign is how she manages proximity and orientation. It's not just leaning in, but the consistent, subtle angling of her body towards yours. Her feet are her subconscious compass. Even if her shoulders are pointed away to maintain a facade of casualness, her feet, or at least one of them, will point directly towards you. This is her body saying, "This is my preferred direction of travel." This is often referred to as the foot anchor. Another critical sign is how she reacts when you intentionally and briefly trespass into her intimate space, known as the zone of comfort, the 18-inch test. If she freezes, recoils, or creates a barricade, like a purse or crossing her arms tightly, the attraction is blocked. But if she subtly adjusts, leans in further, or holds her frame, she is confirming that your closeness is desired. Furthermore, does she strategically clear obstacles between you, moving her drink, shifting her handbag, or nudging her friend so that an unobstructed line of sight and physical path exists between you? This is the silent move of removing defensive barriers, the clear pathway. Her eyes are not just looking, they are actively absorbing and reacting. The most primal courtship signal is the gaze-smile break sequence. She holds your gaze for a sustained moment, more than 3 seconds, breaks the contact by looking down, a sign of submission and shyness, and then swiftly returns to your eyes, often with a faint, genuine smile. Also, if her dilated pupil is noticeable in low light, it is a physiological response to heightened interest and arousal that is impossible to fake. Her brain is literally trying to absorb more of your image. When desire is deep, the two individuals begin to operate as a single energetic unit. This is the phenomenon of synchronization, a neurophysiological event indicating pair bonding potential. Mirroring is the unconscious copying of another's posture, gestures, and energy. It is the purest sign of affiliation and comfort. Observe the postural copy. You lean back, she leans back. You touch your face, she adjusts her hair. You take a sip of your drink, she takes a sip of hers. This is her subconscious mind striving to align with your rhythm. It says, "I am like you, and I feel comfortable in your presence." Accompanying this is vocal softness. Her voice will subtly change when speaking only to you. It may become softer, slightly more melodic, or she might drop her volume and slow her pace. This tonal shift is an unconscious attempt to create intimacy and exclusivity within the conversation. Women rarely initiate physical contact without high levels of comfort or attraction. When they do, the contact is never accidental. This is the excuse touch. She finds flimsy excuses to touch you, brushing lint off your shoulder, tapping your arm for emphasis, or bumping into you in a crowded space. The key is the frequency and the lingering nature of the touch. Most revealing is the handoff hold. When handing something back, a phone, a pen, a receipt, her fingers might intentionally linger against yours for a full second longer than necessary. This momentary, intense physical contact is a subconscious test of your reaction and a direct, though silent, expression of desire. Psychology dictates that a woman, subconsciously seeking a strong, reliable mate, will test the emotional stability of a man she is attracted to. These are not malicious games. They are biological screening processes to assess your internal frame. She will perform the tease and the challenge by playfully challenging your statements, making a dry, sarcastic joke at your expense, or even appearing slightly difficult or unavailable. The man who is needy will over-explain, try to win her approval, or become reactive and defensive. This is the failure that instantly breaks the attraction. The winning response is that the confident man remains entirely unfaken. He meets her playful resistance with calm amusement, a knowing smile, and maintains his truth without needing to validate himself. This composure signals emotional safety and internal control, the traits she subconsciously seeks. She might also employ the strategic pullback by abruptly going quiet on text, becoming busy for a few days, or suddenly withdrawing her usual level of high attention. This is a classic test to see if you will chase desperately. Your power move is simple. Do not chase. Do not double text. Maintain your purpose and your grounded state. When you remain calm and confident during her absence, you activate a primal response in her that recognizes you as the prize and not the chaser. Your restraint becomes the source of her curiosity and renewed attraction. Finally, when her attraction deepens, she will start using the use of your name frequently in conversation. This is a psychological tool used to gain and hold your attention, to create intimacy, and to personalize the interaction, separating you from everyone else in the room. Understanding these signs is useless unless you know how to leverage them. Your final actions must be rooted in strength, respect, and intention. The goal is not to become a body language detective who analyzes every blink. The goal is to cultivate the grounded, calm, masculine presence that makes these signs appear in the first place. You must be the energy that she feels safe surrendering to. When you see 3 or more core signs, proximity, gaze, mirroring, within a short window, you must lead the interaction forward. This is the two-step escalation formula. First, execute the intentional lean-in by slowing down your movements, dropping your voice to a lower, authoritative tone, and leaning in slightly closer than you normally would, using the new proximity she has signaled she is comfortable with. Second, make the statement of intent. Pivot the conversation away from surface topics and toward a shared future, even a small one. For example, instead of asking if she likes a certain activity, state, "We need to go try that new spot next week." This signals confidence and a clear intent to transition the connection. The secret to sustaining desire is that desire dies when the man becomes predictable. The long-term sustainment of attraction relies on maintaining your emotional frame, your purpose, and a slight air of mystery. Continue to lead with calm control. The most magnetic men are not the loudest, they are the most present. Finally, for those of you who have followed this entire psychological breakdown, you now possess the knowledge that separates the few who truly connect from the many who remain confused. This information is meant to transform your interactions. If this deep dive into female desire psychology resonated with you, I urge you to join this community of high-value, emotionally intelligent men by hitting the subscribe button. Your personal journey toward mastering attraction is a serious commitment, and we are dedicated to providing the necessary, unfiltered truths to guide you. Use this knowledge with respect, confidence, and purpose. The signals of deep desire are not just psychological, they are fundamentally biological, driven by an ancient cocktail of neurochemicals. When she is truly drawn to you, her body is literally changing its internal state. The presence of a man who makes her feel secure and seen triggers a significant drop in stress hormones like cortisol. This reduction in anxiety is a powerful, unconscious signal that she perceives you as a safe harbor, not a threat. Furthermore, authentic desire activates the release of oxytocin, often called the cuddle hormone or the bonding hormone. This hormone is crucial for trust, attachment, and pair bonding. When she is laughing easily, her body is relaxed, and she is comfortable maintaining prolonged proximity, her oxytocin levels are surging in response to your presence. This feeling of being chemically bonded is what transforms basic attraction into deep, secret longing. You are not just appealing to her mind, you are calming and aligning her entire endocrine system. It is a common error to believe that the woman who is overtly flirtatious is the one who wants you the most. In fact, the higher the value, the more internally grounded, or the more emotionally intelligent the woman, the more intensely she will hide her deepest desire. She fears the vulnerability of emotional exposure. Her calculated restraint is not a lack of interest, but a protective measure against investing her emotional energy too quickly. She is highly aware that her attraction could be mistaken for desperation or easily exploited. Therefore, she will often maintain a polished, slightly aloof facade, observing your consistency and composure from a distance. She needs confirmation that your masculine frame is unshakable, that you are interested in her depth, and not just the temporary thrill of the chase. When she secretly wants you badly, her signals become highly conflicting. Intense eye contact followed by immediate avoidance. Profound vulnerability balanced by a sudden protective barrier. This hot and cold paradox is her subconscious testing your emotional patience and confirming your worthiness of her trust. A woman who secretly wants you will integrate you into the architecture of her life, both past and future. The clearest sign of this cognitive integration is the activation of her long-term memory regarding trivial details you mentioned. She will recall small facts, the name of your dog from childhood, a subtle annoyance you mentioned about work, or a niche hobby you briefly touched upon weeks ago. This is not just good listening. It's her brain prioritizing information about you because you have become a significant, non-expendable element in her world. Moreover, she will begin future pacing. This is when she talks about potential shared activities that are far in the future, using collective pronouns like we or us. She might casually say, "Oh, when we go skiing this winter." Or, "That's something we should try when the festival comes around next year." She is, in essence, mentally running a simulation of what your shared life would look like. This talk is an unconscious attempt to gauge your receptivity to a committed, long-term presence in her reality. You must understand that female desire, unlike linear male desire, operates on a spectrum of emotional safety. The signals will never be constant. The man who expects consistent, clear affirmation will always be confused. The hot and cold dynamic is natural because as her attraction grows, so does the risk of emotional pain. This internal conflict manifests as inconsistency. One moment she is leaning in, touching your arm, and sharing her deepest secrets. The next, she is distracted, looking past you, or giving you one-word replies. Your response to this fluctuation is the ultimate test. If you become anxious, press for clarification, or try to fix her mood, you fail. Your power lies in remaining unaffected, calm, and grounded. When you maintain your composure during her emotional retreat, you demonstrate that your peace is independent of her validation and that you are the emotional anchor she subconsciously needs to feel safe enough to return to her state of desire. The true secret to unlocking deep female desire is not found in chasing fleeting signs or manipulating conversations. It is found in the stillness of your own presence. When you lead with calm certainty, when you allow silence to breathe, and when your actions are driven by purpose rather than neediness, you create the psychological space necessary for her subconscious attraction to unfold naturally. You do not need to hunt for validation, you need only to embody the emotional groundedness that she is genetically wired to seek. Mastering the art of attraction is the mastery of self-control. It is a commitment to being the man who is the safe, magnetic center of his own world. Use this knowledge to elevate your interactions, moving beyond surface-level connection to genuine, resonant desire. This journey is continuous, and your commitment to this deeper understanding is why we continue to provide this crucial psychological insight. Stay grounded, stay confident, and as always, stay in control.